that sounds good. Oh yeah, what you're about to hear is powered by the men of the square table, who want you to know that the garage fridge is for beer only. Duh. Miller Lite. Good call.
Frosty, Heidi and Frank, 520-9710, 888-520-9710.
Frosty, Heidi, and Frank
On Free FM.
Free FM, we are going to party with you on Friday of this week. Can't wait to go to San Diego. The Free FM station there is celebrating a year of being Free FM with a big party featuring our show live. Friday of this week. Now, wear your costumes. Try out your Halloween costumes a few days early. You can win some cool prizes. They've got a sick and sexy costume contest going on. It's going to be Friday of this week. Doors open 9:30 in the morning. You do have to be 21 to get in because there's booze and stuff. Our show, of course, will start at 10. Here's where it is, San Diego. It's at Cane's Bar and Grill. That's Cane's Bar and Grill, Mission Beach on Oceanfront Walk. See you Friday.
Got your outfit?
No, I still don't know.
Still not? Frosty.
I'm getting some ideas during this discussion, though. Maybe I'll go as a crippled man.
Oh.
Disabled?
A handicapable man.
Right now we're discussing dating the disabled. Should anybody really do it? And I'm not talking just about physical disabilities, because it turns out 1 in 5 in L.A. County has a disability. 20% of the population here in the dating pool has a disability. It could be physical. It could be sensory. Dating a deaf person. Dating a blind person. Dating a person who has no sense of touch.
Or taste.
What's the point of that?
How would you strike up a... How do you get to know a deaf person? I know it seems cruel, but...
Some read lips.
I mean, you can't just go in and run into someone and strike up a conversation with them. You have to go out of your way to talk to a deaf person if you don't speak sign language. How do you get to know them? You know? Like if I'm sitting at Starbucks, and because I don't sign... And if someone plops down next to me who's deaf, I can't have a conversation.
No, Frosty, how that would go is you find me attractive and I'm deaf, but you don't even know it. So you'd come up to me, and I'm sure if I'm out in public, I get it by just fine. So you'd come up and go, "Hey, how are you?" And you'd touch me, probably, "Hey, how are you?" And I'd look at you and I'd go, no, and I was not.
Then I'd say, "Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry," and I'd walk away. I wouldn't hang around.
Pass me the napkins.
Well, but if you thought it was hot, but I just happen to be a hot deaf girl, then if I go, "No, I read lips," we can talk.
Deaf girl's hot, but could you put up with it forever? I mean, the hot thing about a deaf girl is that she's probably going to be extremely loud in the sack. She's probably going to sound like you're having sex with a retarded girl.
Or a hyena.
Which you could check off the list.
Which you could check off the list. Not actually hot to have sex with a retarded girl because she's really loud in the sack.
Yeah.
Now, I don't mean to offend anybody when I say that, but they're deaf and they can't hear this.
They'll hear about it, but they can't hear it live.
Well, they won't hear about it
later today.
They can play a telephone game, nothing like that.
Yeah. But it's just so much harder to get to know someone with a what's the right way to say it?
Handicap.
Disability.
A disability. And this is cruel and wrong, but life is sometimes cruel and wrong and harsh. I think it takes so much more work that most people won't bother, right?
Yeah, and there's more than just physical and sensory. There's mental.
Which you find out later.
Be the ones that I always catch.
You always
find
get
out
those.
later.
I'm drawn to the mentally disabled for some reason.
Because you're a fixer.
And learning disability. Just someone who's like, they can't read, but they can hold a conversation.
You wouldn't date a hot girl who's hooked on phonics? Or has to be, has to take that class?
A hot girl with a learning disability.
A hot girl
maybe in that case, she has the world at her fingertips.
Wait, she's a hot girl, but you go, so what do you usually do, like, on the weeknights? Well, I spend most of my time at Sylvan, the learning center. What? Are you a teacher there? Oh, no, I go there. I'm a student.
Goodbye.
Hot as
Check,
hell.
please.
Yeah, you're always like on double date, and you grab her menu and order for her because it looks like you're a gentleman, but she really can't read the menu.
Frank, be honest. We'll get your calls in a second, but be honest. I don't care how hot she is and how good of a talker she is and how good you're clicking. If you find out early on that she doesn't know how to read, isn't that so creepy? You're kind of like, check, please.
Yeah, I should have known something was wrong with my first wife when I told her that we were going to go to Spain for a honeymoon. She says, "Is that somewhere in Georgia?"
Shut up. Oh, no. Oh.
And I said, "No, but I like your style."
Marry me.
She had a geography learning disability.
Okay.
Well, that's not such
She was smart in other areas. His geography was a complete moron.
She could find the hockey arena with her eyes closed, but she couldn't find Spain. Or Gerardo in Anaheim. You're with Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Good show.
Thank you.
So I have a disability story. A friend of mine from school one time said, let's go to this club. It ought to be pretty good. He was going to take his friend. So he's like, she should be there with her friend. I'm like, cool. So we're at the club. We're like, let's go to the front. She should be here. A van pulls up, and a little ramp comes out. I'm like, okay. So the girl comes out in a wheelchair. I guess she's a midget, but something's wrong with her, like arms and legs. I guess it had nerve damage, so she needs to be in the wheelchair.
Oh.
Is it a tiny wheelchair or a full-size wheelchair?
No, it was one of those like electronic ones you got to move with the little control, whatever.
Like a rascal.
Yeah. So anyways, we get inside, and the worst part is her friend didn't show up. So I'm like, cool, whatever. We're inside. And my friend keeps leaving me to go talk to other girls and go to the bathroom, so I'm stuck with the wheelchair girl. And then she goes, you want to dance? I don't want to be an a-hole, so I go, sure. And I'm thinking, what are you going to do? So she starts moving back and forth in the wheelchair with the little control. She's basically...
Shut up.
They do that.
No, really. She's basically hitting hydraulics in the wheelchair.
I've seen that.
And I'm like, oh, my God, so much attention is being brought to us, right? And everyone's looking at us. But now everyone's kind of cheering her on, so I'll be more of an a-hole if I don't do anything,
So they start developing the circle around her and all going, go.
Oh,
yeah. And so my friend comes back, and all of a sudden I'm like, all right, I got to go pee now. So I leave, right? And eventually her friend finally gets there. So as soon as the friends get there, she's actually good looking. So I start, talking or whatever, trying to do my thing. And she actually looks at me, wheelchair girl, she goes, man, I can't believe you. And I was this close from saying, I can't believe you got here in that, And it was, it was just so
you danced
weird.
with a
as
midget
a friend,
girl in a wheelchair.
I couldn't imagine being with somebody like that. And I mean, that was just as a friend,
The thing that you said there in the story was that you didn't want to be an a-hole.
Yeah,
and I think that's where you're suckered into staying with them for longer. Once you develop a relationship and they're a great person, you don't want to be the a-hole and leave the person with a disability. That's why, so to never look like an a-hole, never date them.
That's got to be on your mind. Not that you're thinking, okay, when I break up, how bad will this look when you're getting into the relationship? But it is part of it, right?
But the one thing great I'll give the disabled about dating them is that they're like fat girls and ugly chicks that they aim to please because they're afraid of that fact that you might leave them someday because of their disability, and there might be somebody who is, quote, normal come along and be able to steal you away. So they are pleasers. This email I got from Rob says, my girlfriend works with a girl that was born with only her right arm and stumps for both legs and her left arm.
Oh.
She has a fake left arm and fake legs at work. Her and her boyfriend are into threesomes and invited my girlfriend over to hang out after work.
You've got to be kidding.
Where they informed her of their lifestyle. So cripples like to party too, Rob.
Is there a weird subculture of...
Can you imagine?
Amputee
and would you really
orgies?
still count that as a threesome? I mean, you're half a person.
2.5-some.
The advantage here is that if you're dating the one-armed girl and she's into threesomes, that when you bring that girl home, how can that girl turn the threesome down without looking like an a-hole? Because, a couple might bring a girl home and inform her of the lifestyle that they do and invite you in, and you still have the option to say, no, not really into that because they're both normal. If one of them has one arm, you have to kind of go, oh, okay.
Right.
What?
How can you turn it down? You're there, and it's like, oh, is it because I have one arm?
See, I would do
not
it.
Not because you're not into threesomes.
I would do it, and I'd write it off as a charity event that I did.
I do it just for morbid curiosity.
I'd be like, oh, that was a charity. I'm donating.
You can turn it down for any reason, especially if you're appalled because there's a physical...
This guy couldn't say no to a dance.
Well, that's different for having sex and a threesome orgy or whatever.
Seems like they always get their way, don't they? They always get the best parking. They always get the right-of-way. Maybe
they should, because they have to deal with so much crap you and I don't have to deal with. And fine, let them have the good parking. Fine, I'll open the door for you. If a person in a wheelchair asks me to push them on a dance floor, I'll do that because they have to deal with garbage the rest of their day. But as far as getting in a relationship, I think it's where most of us kind of, I got to go use the bathroom and never come back. It's extra baggage that you have that I don't want to deal with. That's my theory. Yeah, I was at a bar that is a karaoke bar, one that we go to all the time. And they have like a lot of costumes. People get up and they put on like a sombrero or, pick up a ukulele and act like they're singing. And one of the props they have is a wheelchair. I don't know why. But I was in it, and I was on the dance floor, and I was like, cruising around. I wasn't trying to pretend like I was disabled because everyone saw me get in the chair. But I was just, trying to see what it'd be like to be on the dance floor and dance. Sure enough, here comes somebody in a wheelchair.
Shut up.
And I got to sit in that thing all night long because now I'm the guy who's disabled. I can't get up and walk out of it.
Should have requested a spiritual song and get yourself a healing halfway through.
And then I had to sit there and talk to the person because now we have the chair in common.
Right.
So, what happened to you? I got to make up some weird,
soulmate.
spina bifida chiropractor accident.
Weren't you worried they were going to instigate chair speak you wouldn't be able to respond to? So, is yours a PL259E?
That's an old model. Yeah, I have no idea, but I had to sit in the chair till that person left.
Oh, no.
You are so due for karma to come back and get you, I think. I think karma's
I think it already has in the form of my 9-year-old going on 40.
Steve, you're with Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
How are you guys doing today?
Great. What's up, Steve?
Nothing. Hey, about 5 years ago, I was dating this girl, and my buddy was like, David, she got any friends? I'm like, well, let me ask her. So she's like, yeah, I got a friend I could bring over. And we're like, well, send me some pictures. So we got on the internet. She sent pictures of her friend. Looked totally normal. Comes over to the house, and she has one arm. So the girl I was dating hooked him up with a girl with one arm. Ended up throughout the whole entire time that we were hanging out at the house, going to the spa. The one girl and I went inside, came back out. They're hooking up in the middle of the spa. And this is a guy with really high standards and whatnot. But, dude, she was hot. And
You see, I don't think the missing the arm is that big a deal.
To some people it isn't, to some it is.
Because life doesn't change that. I mean, like, I'm thinking, okay, if I lost my left arm, I mean, I don't want to lose my legs. I wouldn't want to lose my right arm because I'm right-handed.
And if you grab her ass, you know where the slap's coming from, so you got time to dodge.
Right. A little delay there. So, I mean, somebody missing an arm, yeah, I wouldn't want to, but it's not that big.
Okay,
you don't go, oh, my God, in the mall, you see a girl with one arm, you don't go, oh, my God, look.
No, it's no big deal.
It's not that big a deal.
Before you are actually going to hang out and date and have sex or whatever, you know, if I'm appalled by the fact that you left out in your photo your missing arm, you strategically cropped your photo, that's deception. And if I
that's
show
good
up,
side, bad side. Now, people always turn the good side toward the camera because they want to look their best.
That's like me using a thinning program on me, then you show up and I'm the weight I am.
Oh, and you haven't.
Well, whatever. Not lately. Not since the Foley incident. No, what I'm saying is it's deception, and if you're appalled by people missing limbs, you're not a cad for going, listen, I'm really not interested because you don't have an arm. I will say that to you because you didn't show your armless part on your JPEG you sent.
No, you would end
deception.
it the minute she showed up. No, you wouldn't.
I would.
Like the last guy, you wouldn't want to look like an a-hole, so you'd stay there the entire evening, even if she was an ass.
There would be no evening. I'd cut my losses.
How would
you
get out of that?
No, you can't do that, because then you would look like an ass.
But isn't it better if she wheels herself in and she doesn't have legs?
But she gave you a picture from the shoulders up without the handles involved?
But there's very significant information she left out, the fact that she doesn't have legs. So if I show up and here comes this thing being wheeled in, this half of a body, you know what? Listen, call me an idiot, I'm sorry, but I'm just not into that. I don't need that extra baggage. I have enough baggage in my own thing. I'm sure you're a wonderful person, but you failed to mention
you're a horrible human being.
That you're in a wheelchair.
Even more than me.
I think where she would deceive you is if on that personal ad, under things she likes, she put, enjoys long walks on the beach.
Rolls in the park.
You know what I'm saying?
Strolls.
That's where you go, well, hang on.
Typo.
But otherwise, how do you put it in a personal ad?
Well, if you're going to put out an ad seeking a relationship, you should put things that are going to be tough for the other person. If you have Tourette's, I think you need to put that in there. You can't just let them find out in the middle of dinner. That's deception.
Yeah, you don't want to look like you're walking down the beach and the tracks are leaving like you and a seal.
Right. What if the Tourette's is, the steak and lobster, most expensive one. Pretty soon. Andrew in Arizona.
Would you date somebody? Sorry, Andrew. Hold on. Don't hang up anybody. But would you date somebody with Tourette's who insulted you with their Tourette's? Like, fat bastard!
No.
Oh,
pig boy!
That'd be fun.
Are you kidding?
But she didn't mean it. But she didn't help it. No, really, they can't help that.
I know they can't help it, but you know what?
Slop! But you love her.
Like in bed, or he's trying to make love to her.
Sweaty pig!
Big ass! Oh!
It's over. Go ahead, Andrew in Arizona.
You guys are making me reconsider my Lieutenant Dan Halloween costume. Anyways, you touched on this a minute ago. You said dating a deaf girl in bed, she'd make weird noises. Well, my friends and I have this running game, who can say the most inappropriate thing if you were to sleep with a deaf girl. And I think that's probably the greatest reason to ever date one.
You mean while you're having sex with her, just say something completely inappropriate and she can't hear you?
Yeah.
That is a plus for dating the deaf girl because, they call it, rodeo sex when you say something inappropriate with a girl who can hear, and then you try to stay on for 7 seconds?
Right, because you're good all.
Well, with a deaf girl, you could say anything you want.
Right.
They read lips, though, so
but
make
from
sure
behind,
your lips
if you're doing a certain thing.
Well,
think
it might
of
be a mirror.
the horrible, horrible things you could say.
Oh, and I think, too, you would be able to get some frustrations out, even if you weren't in the bedroom. But, she's pissing you off in one way or another, and you could be, cleaning up in the kitchen.
There's no talking under your breath. You just yell through the house as you're walking away. You effing say! What, honey? When you turn around, would you like more coffee?
There's
Let
a
me
sitcom.
warm that up for you.
There's a sitcom in there somewhere. I'll work on that at Starbucks this afternoon. I see it now. That's our idea. Don't anyone steal that. We'll sue you.
We could do it like New Adventures of Deaf Christine.
All
Or
right.
something.
We figured it out. Dating the deaf is probably all right.
Yeah.
And marrying the deaf is probably a good call for you.
Fine.
All right.
Yeah, okay. It's just difficult to get to know them because you can't really converse.
Well, I think you would learn sign
But
language.
now we've opened that option up. Now that there would be so much fun to date or marry, that you will now break the ice when you find out someone's deaf.
Fine. So you always have someone around to demean, and that's a good relationship, you say.
You can never be verbally abusive to a deaf girl.
And that's one of the things that Frank's always been accused of. So that might be, that might be the thing that you.
How can you be verbally abusive to a deaf girl?
You could be making yelly face.
Yelly face?
You could be yawning, and she thinks you're screaming at her.
Make yelly face.
You get up and you go. She goes,
why are you yelling at me?
I was yawning.
I was yawning. No, you were. You said, and she'll say some.
What, am I boring you?
Tiffany in Burbank. You with Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
Hey, guys. You guys rock. Thank you for making my day wonderful.
Thank you, Tiffany.
My husband and I have a almost 5-year-old little girl. She has cerebral palsy, and she's partially blind. You couldn't tell there's anything wrong, really, by looking at her until you start to notice that she's not doing the same things that kids her age are doing, or she drags her left foot, things like that. But for the first 2.5 years, I mean, we cried. We cried all the damn time. And then we ran into a friend who had a disabled child, and she taught us how to laugh, along with Carlos Mencia, who cracks us up. But the thing that we really noticed is people do not have a sense of humor when it comes to disabled people. Our daughter's name is Piper, and her left leg's a little shorter than her right leg. My husband calls her Peg Leg. That's funny.
It'll give her a personality, and it'll build character with her,
well,
I think.
you know what? And at Easter time, when everybody hid all the eggs, he cracked a joke about, hey, hide the eggs on the blind kid. And, we started laughing. And
I'll make sure the only two laughing. There's probably a lot of awkward silence.
If they didn't start laughing, they'd be crying all the time.
Well, and that's the thing, though. It's like, when firefighters and police officers come across dead people all the time, I mean, they start to crack jokes. A lot of my cop friends talk about the jokes that they make, and it's so that they don't, just...
So you don't go insane.
Yeah, you'd be crying all day.
It's a total way to deal with things, and people they don't get it. And anytime we crack a joke, you know what, it might just be because, yes, we are jealous that your friends or your kids can do things that our kids can't do, but at the same time, our kids might be cuter,
I feel like we should give her extra time because she has a disabled kid, but unfortunately we can't fight the commercials.
That's the other
Tiffany,
thing. We
thank
don't
you.
want pity, we want compassion.
Tiffany, we have to
I
break.
feel bad for me,
She does have a good point.
Yeah, she does.
We'll take it back.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. And you know what? Crack jokes about the disabled, because I find it funny.
Okay, we will.
Frosty,
Thank
Heidi,
you.
and Frank. Coming up tomorrow on Adam Carolla's show here on this chain of free FM radio stations from sea to shining, sea to mountain. Bob Saget, Byron Allen, more tickets to the Blotto and the Grotto at the Playboy Mansion, and more fun than you could possibly imagine. It's tomorrow with Adam Carolla here on Free FM. We are Frosty, Heidi, and Frank. Our number is 888-520-9710. Hello, Justin.
Hey, guys, what's up?
What's going on?
Hey, I want to let you know that I dated a chick who, her last boyfriend had muscular dystrophy, and he wasn't totally functional. And so, the first time that we had sex, I was like a freaking king in the sack, man, I'll tell you.
Yeah, pat yourself on the back with that good arm. You're comparing yourself to a guy who couldn't get it up.
Hey, man, whatever helps.
Whatever helps the ego. I was better than that dead guy. Alicia is emailing the show. If you'd like to email the show, the address is letsbefrank971@msn.com. So just wanted to comment on the handicap topic. I'm 28-year-old female. I'm in a wheelchair, and I have dated a lot. I'm actually in a relationship with someone who is a successful guy and loves me to death, but he annoys the S out of me, so I tend to cheat on him with younger guys.
What?
You're saying the woman in a wheelchair can't cheat?
But this is this is shocking because it's so unusual, almost hard to believe. She can just run out there, roll out there, and just cheat anytime she wants.
She doesn't have a problem with dating because I have a great personality, I'm attractive, and I take care of myself. Still, I'm at the gym every day after work, and I eat right.
She's in a wheelchair? When she goes to the gym?
Well, you got an upper body to work on.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Can't you do that at home? Can't you buy some dumbbells and save your gym fee?
Some people
You're not going to use most of the machines there. You're not going to use the treadmill and all that stuff, the bikes. Yeah. Save your money.
That's where you could possibly meet somebody, Frosty. If you went to the actual gym, you might meet somebody there.
In a wheelchair?
No, just anybody. In the gym. So like, she's not in trouble dating because breaks the ice with, you done with the machine? Oh, what's your name?
Can you
Alicia?
spot me? Yeah.
I'm in a wheelchair, but I'm a slut.
Don't take this wrong, but how demasculating is it if you're the guy and you find out that your woman in a wheelchair has been cheating on you? It's like, whoa, I've been kind of doing you a favor for staying with you, wheelchair lady.
There you go, doing you a favor.
And you do this to me, you roll out and cheat on me, rolling bitch. That's as kind of low as it gets. Like, what? Thanks a lot.
I hope she's using protection because when she gets roll aids.
Oh.
That was horrible. Slap myself.
Sort of a gentle slap.
I
get a worse one than that.
It's hard to punch yourself really hard.
Jay in Phoenix, you're with Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Jay?
Hey, I actually lost my leg 8 months ago. And, my life really hasn't changed that much. Actually, the dating scene is better.
How's that?
Before I was always the cocky guy when everyone was out. They're like, your friend is so cocky. And now, all of a sudden, I've become the confident guy. They're looking at me, and they're like, hey, he doesn't have a leg, and he's like this guy out there putting himself out there.
Isn't that insulting, though, because you can't be cocky with one leg?
Exactly. I agree with you, but I'm going to use it to my advantage.
Well, yeah. But it's like Frosty saying, I've been doing you a favor by dating you. Which is like, how are you doing this woman a favor? Isn't she really doing you a favor, Frosty? By dating you?
Yes. I think so.
But to put it like that, that's what I'm saying. They can always fall back on the disability when the relationship is over. Because they always think that deep down you're doing them a favor.
Well, it's like never having to take the blame for a relationship screwing up. There are people who will just never. It wasn't me. It was them. Sometimes it is you, but then they can always blame their disability. It's never because they were annoying or they cheated on you. It's because, he left me because he just couldn't take the chair anymore.
They can always make you look bad to their friends, whoever they tell that to.
Yeah.
I wonder if there are some people who do have a disability, who are more annoying, who get away with more. And they know they can get away with more because you're going to put up with more of their crap because you don't want to look like the heel. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, Heidi, if you're in a wheelchair and you've been in a relationship, now suddenly you probably know that I'm going to cut you some slack now and then and treat you a little nicer and because you have to deal with so much other garbage in the day, well, you could just become a total bitch to me because you're in a wheelchair. Look at me. How dare you talk to me like this? I'm in a wheelchair.
I could take advantage of you.
You could, very easily. Mm-hmm. Which is, again, why I wouldn't want to get involved with anyone. It's just... There's some wonderful people who have disabilities. I know there are, but when you're getting to that stage of where you decide whether or not you want to get serious, it seems to me there's a big fat negative that comes along with a disability that, like I said, I may shy away.
I don't know if this is real or not, but someone sent me a website called ratemystump.com.
Oh, come on.
I don't even want to see this.
Chicks in the nude.
No, with stumps?
Well, yeah, that's why it's called Rate My Stump.
I don't want to see this.
Yes, you do.
Not with the stumps, no. It's like...
What is that one girl? Was that a leg warmer? What are we looking at?
Well, so they're wearing one leg warmer. The other one's missing.
They're posing all sexy with their stump showing?
It's kind of a ballet dancer thing going on where the one leg in the air is not there.
Which would be easy to raise and hold because...
I guess you could put her no leg on the ground.
Do you find... You're looking at them, not it's on your screen, but do you find them sexy?
In a weird way, yeah.
If you block the stump out, I understand if they're good. But if you take your hand away and you see the stump right next to everything else, doesn't it detract somewhat?
It almost seems like, I don't know. I don't know if I could do that.
Wouldn't it feel strange?
There was one girl who didn't even have any legs. She was a torso.
Yeah, she was a torso. She's looking over her shoulder with her hand on her hip.
But that's the end of her. That's all.
That's sexy.
Wouldn't it feel weird?
Look on her face.
I mean, like something's missing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Like
wouldn't
legs.
it be difficult? I mean, wouldn't you notice? Well, I should be feeling
like something's missing.
Can I put some pillows down there just to...
Yeah, I think those long pillows.
Jennifer in Arizona. You're with Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
Hi. You know what? I had some friends of mine that were, like, trying to introduce me to different guys to date, and he told me about this one guy, and he goes, the only thing is he's in a wheelchair. And I was like, huh. But then I met him, and he was freaking totally smoking hot, and he does everything. He hunts, he fishes.
What does he hunt? I can understand you strap him to a seat on the back of a boat, but what can he go hunt?
Well, we're going elk hunting in December.
Okay, so he sits in a deer stand and you run the elk to him?
No, I mean, he can ride a quad.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I mean, he kayaks. He's like so active, and he's really good looking. He's so funny. We always get the best parking, you know, and he'll joke about his disability and stuff like that. He was paralyzed like 9 years ago in a hunting accident by rolling his truck in the snow.
So you think he'd stop hunting?
So you would probably be kicking yourself the way you just described him had you not given him a chance because of his disability. But you did. I'm just saying most people probably wouldn't. Most people would have backed out of the first date.
No, because a lot of people that I talk about, I would, you know, some of my friends, I'd be like, yeah, I went out with this guy, and I explain, I go, and he, you know, I go, the weird thing is he's in a wheelchair, but it's, you know, and they're like, really?
Does he treat you nice, or does he treat you like crap sometimes?
Oh, dude, he is so funny, and he's so fun to be around, and he treats me awesome, you know?
Well, see, if he could walk, he'd treat you like crap.
Now, Jennifer, is his wiener works, obviously, because is he paralyzed from the waist down?
He's paralyzed from the waist down, but everything is in working order.
It fascinates me because, okay, you can't walk, you can't move your legs, but your wiener he still has feeling there?
No, not necessarily feeling, but it's not like it doesn't work.
Okay.
Who put the move on who first?
Well, you know what? We were at a friend's wedding reception, and they introduced me to him, and you know, he goes, can I call you? And I'm like, absolutely.
And you were desperate because you felt like no one was going to ask you to marry you someday. So you're like, okay, I'll take this guy in the wheelchair.
No, I'm not bad looking at all. But I'm just saying, you know, he was just really nice. And, you know, the more I talk to him, it's like I forget sometimes that he has a disability, you know.
Well, you're a saint. Good for you.
But he's, like, so cool, and he's fun. And we actually are talking about getting married.
Wow.
And we're opening up a business together. But, yeah, and I know a girl that has no arms that I met years and years ago, and she ended up marrying a really successful, normal guy, and they had children, and she's a housewife and everything. So, I mean, yeah, it kind of, at first you shy away, and you're like, you know. But
can you imagine living with her?
But
I'm afraid the house would be kind of dirty, you know? There wouldn't be much cleaning going on.
I think he's taken on the disability.
Yeah. I don't know. You've got to have arms. You need arms.
Because you can't hug without them.
Hug.
Well, you can be hugged, though.
Can't cook my food.
And I can wrap my legs around you and give you a leg hug. I could leg hug you.
Scissor hug me?
Yeah.
Well,
you still feel the warmth of my body.
No, okay, so we've established physical disabilities we could date. Sensory disabilities we could date. Mental disabilities, the ones I always end up with, probably can't date. Here's another story in the news. Out of Denver, a woman who stabbed her young granddaughter 62 times with a butcher knife after she received spiritual messages from geese flying overhead.
What?
Yes, it has been determined that she is criminally insane by the state mental hospital. Yeah, Carol Lynn Pappas. She's 53 years old. She has a history of mental illness and is being diagnosed as manic depressive and bipolar. She has pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity on the charges that she killed her granddaughter. She is accused of stabbing her 20-month-old granddaughter, Madison, at her son's house.
Did she cut in, like, flying V marks throughout the body? Well, the geese.
Yeah.
You know, it's a goose killing. I think they would request the V.
Papa said she killed her granddaughter minutes after the girl's father left for work. A police officer said the girl was found face down on a bed with holes in her shirt. Next to her was a butcher knife about 8 inches long.
Oh, my God.
That should have been the who's going to hell thing.
So this is why I say never date a mentally ill person.
Take a gander at that.
Yay.
Because you're stuck with that. They get to stab your kids to death.
You know, I agree with you.
Drown them in a bathtub.
I agree with you. If you know that she's, whatever, bipolar, all those other things you say, if you know that, nay, stay away. But sometimes you don't know until it's too late.
No, you know.
That comes out later. Oh, but honey, I forgot to tell you. Or maybe
you can tell
kept it from
wacky
you.
if she's not medicated. You can tell when she's just, manic. She's up and she's down.
Don't you think
bipolar? And it's like, why am I even dealing? Why am I trying to convince you of another way? Because your brain can't work like everybody else's.
Mm-hmm. Don't you think there's a lot of people who are bipolar and have it under control with medicine, and you don't even know they're on it?
But the one time they miss their pill, it's drowning your babies.
Right.
And I'm saying,
stabbing the baby.
There's just no chance there.
Mm. Thank God I'm normal.
Yeah.
Such a catch. However, there is something very, very, very strange that some people are into sexually. This even shocked me, and I'm hard to shock. Tell you we come
Missionary.
back. Way beyond that, Frank.
Freaks.
Tell you we come back. Frosty, Heidi, and Frank. Free FM, Frosty, Heidi, and Frank. Now, I am the first to admit, maybe I have a few eccentricities. Maybe there's a quirk or two about me.
Yes, some eccentricities.
Yes. Can't think of any offhand. But I will tell you that I can understand this guy's kink. Happened in Ferndale, Michigan. Have you ever seen a mannequin that's dressed up so attractively and so hot you have thoughts of it later? A mannequin in the store. The Gap mannequin or whatever.
No,
wherever you
because usually they're... Well, it goes back to our last discussion.
Even that 80s film was weird and freaked out with Kim Cattrall.
Right, remember?
And Andrew McCarthy.
Andrew McCarthy.
That won the Oscar for Best Picture, didn't it? Anyway, this guy, Ronald Dotson, age 39, has been arrested yet again. He's been arrested time after time after time. Let's see how many times.
Just the lower half pantyhose mannequins.
He's been previous to the most recent incident, he's served time in prison. 6 different convictions for breaking and entering, always to get a mannequin from a store. Now, what he did with the mannequin, you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
He did it again, even though he just got out of prison a week ago for his last incident. Within 7 days of being released from prison for doing his time, he sought out yet another mannequin in another store that was closed, broke in, got it, and did you know what with it.
So it's the breaking and entering. It's not the having whatever forcible sex with a mannequin.
Yeah, because it's hard.
The
There's
convictions
nothing,
are breaking and entering.
How would he even do anything with her?
I don't know.
It's just a piece of, fiberglass or wood.
This most recent mannequin was in a black and white French maid's uniform. Now, why would someone have a mannequin up in a French maid's uniform?
Well, in a lingerie shop, you got...
French maid mannequin?
Sure, I just bought a French maid outfit.
Yeah, but was it up on a mannequin in the store?
No, but I see they put the mannequins in the windows to show you, our latest, our brand new lingerie.
Is it Victoria's Secret that has the clear mannequins?
I don't know.
I haven't seen those clear mannequins.
I'm not sure, but it was some underwear place that has clear mannequins, so you can kind of, which are kind of hot because you can actually see like yourself as inside the panties.
Oh,
like as they're on somebody,
like the invisible
woman.
Mm-hmm.
You can see inside of her panties while she's wearing them.
Tonight on Nova. Amazing camera works inside the panties.
I'd watch that.
Well, this guy actually told his parole officer the most recent time he's learned his lesson. He says he's going to go out and buy a mannequin now. Shouldn't he have done that 7 convictions ago? Just go buy a mannequin.
Mm-hmm.
Don't break in and anyway.
Oh, he's a dummy. Well, now I'm torn. Was it good or not good? I got a drum roll and a slap or a punch.
How atomic...
It's on sarcasm setting over there.
Oh, I see. I got you.
How anatomically correct are mannequins these days? I've never really seen a naked mannequin.
Nothing.
Well, they used to be kind of...
Men and
nothing.
female are flat in front, except the girls usually have a couple hills for boobs.
And they might have nipples if you're going, more authentic.
So I'm guessing this guy left the clothes on the mannequin when he had his fun, because if he stripped it, there was nothing but a weird...
Yeah, it doesn't look like a girl at all.
Yeah. Anyway.
A question for you. What would your definition of sexless be? Now, I know it seems simple, but
my life.
Wrap your head around it. Sexless.
My life. That's the name of my autobiography.
So no sex at all is sexless.
Oh, well,
I'd say sex organless. You don't have anything anywhere. You are a mannequin.
Okay, but
you're sexless.
Do you think that... no, it's not gender. I'm saying actual sex. So sexless, I think, would be... Frank would have a completely different definition, as I would, of what sexless is. What sexless would mean to him. And what sexless to you means you don't have any.
Well, I have with myself, but I'm not. I guess I should count that. I'm guessing some people take a vow of chastity or whatever, or celibacy when they go into a convent or a monk or whatever, in a Himalayan, where you can't even have pleasure the no sex at all. Mm-hmm. That would be sexless, a sexless life.
Last thing on your mind.
That's what...
In a relationship, this is a sexless relationship. We're going through the motions of everything else, but we just don't have sex. It's sexless.
Don't you think of it?
Nope.
Oh.
Doesn't even cross your mind. Sexless.
Okay. Would you...
Why would you be in a relationship when sex doesn't even cross your mind? Why stay in that?
Well, because
you're with somebody who has the same mindset as you. It's just sexless. No one wants it. Nobody cares.
But you called it a relationship. I don't think that's a relationship.
Frosty,
relationship.
It's sexless because it's supposed to have sex in it. I mean, as part of everything else, so it's sexless. It's everything but sex.
Butt sex.
Butt sex.
Butt sex. I even put $2 on that.
No, but
sex.
at Frosty, it's like people have been married for 12 years and we've got the kids and we're happy and we love each other and we're busy and you're my best friend and we hang out.
It's called marriage.
But but we're not having any sex. So you're in a relationship because you love each other and you have all this other stuff, but that's just the last thing on the list.
Okay. No, you don't love each other anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
We have to love each other, otherwise you could leave.
No, you're
not
don't.
in
You're
love with each other. No, you're not in love with each other anymore, but you love each other.
No, you don't. You're just stuck.
I can understand if the very rare people anymore who actually hold out till they get married to have sex. You don't see many of those anymore. That would be a sexless relationship. They're in a relationship, their boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, whatever, but they're waiting till they get married. Once you get married, then if you have no sex, I wouldn't even call it a relationship. What is it? Roommates? You don't even think about having sex?
Yeah. Bitter party one.
I mean, that doesn't seem like much of a relationship. You're sharing a house.
Well, they're saying sexless relationships are becoming increasingly more prominent among young couples, with 28% of men in their 30s having sex less than once a month.
Damn.
I know. They're saying that the reason relationships become sexless, many respondents, and by the way, they did a survey of 500 men aged in
female's own body image,
aged in their 20s and 40s. They only talked to the men. 500 men between 20 and 40, and they all answered that they didn't have sex because stress from work, a lack of fulfillment in their daily lives, and lack of energy. And
so these guys don't want sex.
Well, no.
Too tired.
Yeah, it's just like, we don't have it. Well, why don't you have it? And those are some of the reasons they gave. They said a total of 16% of men in their 20s were sexless, compared with 38% of men in their 40s. And they're saying sexless is defined as having no sex or sex less than once a month.
Notice how as you get older, sex is less important. Guys in their 40s, almost 4 out of 10 saying, well, I'm too tired, I'm too stressed out, but drop down to younger, and it's only 16%.
They're only tired and stressed out because they have to have sex with the same woman all the time.
Is that what it is? If you give them somebody fresh, then or somebody new?
Yeah, that 16% of guys in their 20s can't get laid.
Okay.
They don't have an option.
Said a total of 29% of men in their 20s said they had hardly any or an occasional interest in sex.
Really?
The figure was 35% for guys in their 40s. 29% of guys in their 20s. That's like almost like a dysfunction.
I'm kind of shocked by that in that age group.
Because they're saying, I'm tired, I don't have any money. I think all that starts psychologically.
Yeah, I can't get laid. I have no money.
Well, you know what? Like you start to feel.
Nobody wants to give it up to me because I'm a loser. I still live at home with my mom.
There you go.
But they still have an interest in it. You would think even those guys would fantasize about it and still pursue it or go online and chit-chat about it. But you're saying that many in their 20s don't even have an interest in it? I'm shocked by that.
Out of 500 people.
I'm not shocked if you put it in middle age, 45 plus or whatever. But for guys in their 20s, I'm kind of shocked.
Like Frosty, at your age, do you ever...
Whatever my age is.
Whatever that is. Do you ever think of sex when you're not seeing sex? It doesn't have anything to do with something on TV. You're just sitting there in a place where you shouldn't even be thinking about it, but you start thinking about it.
No, I don't. I really don't.
You have to have something where you go, oh, that reminds me.
It doesn't just pop in my head.
Okay.
Now, when I was younger, yeah.
You would just be
but
maybe
I think you kind of grow up. You know what? Because there's more stuff.
You never sit there eating a popsicle and start thinking about sex?
Oh, no, that's funny. I'm sure you meant...
Popsicle.
Oh, God.
I'm sure you meant the Taco Bell family pack.
No, I mean, you're like walking through Home Depot and you're not even thinking about sex.
No, why would I think of sex at Home Depot?
But see, I do that.
What do you see at Home Depot?
It doesn't even have to be anything.
Anything in the plumbing aisle.
I will get a feeling. I'll just be there.
Funnels,
I'll be
sprinkler
looking,
heads,
PVC pipe.
The caulk.
I'll be in the plant department looking for, and then I don't know. It'll just come over me where I go, boy, I'm feeling
something about the way the cactus are shaped.
I don't even know. I don't know what triggers it. I don't think there's any. That's what I'm saying. It's a completely non-sexual situation, but I'll go, I think I'm a little moist.
Smelly bushes.
Because we'll take it right from there. We come back.
Stop it, you're turning me on.
888-520-9710. We're Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.